Hey everyone, welcome back to Odin's Leifthrasir. This is KidRickarus, and this is post-commentary, and I'll explain in a second the reason for that. But first, here I'm showing you what I did off camera. Basically, I made some healing potions, and I also equipped the Adversity Ring +1, which I had said that I wasn't going to equip. But then I looked at the description, so as HP decreases, damage increases by max of 25% up. Also, running speed 5% up. The running speed doesn't really matter, but with the way my fights have been going, I take a lot of damage, so I figured this would be useful. But I also had to get rid of the Star Pendant, which got rid of my HP increase. But the Talisman had the HP increase 10%, so I figured it was a good sacrifice to make, and it ended up being pretty useful. So next, we're going to go in and I'm going to fight this mid-boss. And sorry, my voice is still not that great. The episodes from yesterday I recorded, I was doing live commentary, my voice wasn't that good. It hasn't gotten much better. So here I was upgrading Comet Spear because I had some Phozons to use. And I also have 5 ability points, so I think I went and got some new abilities. I think I got Icy Grip and the Resistance that I was talking about getting in the previous episodes. So I went ahead and got those. Sorry. Yeah, and these are all really useful things to have in this volcano and lava pit area. I really don't like fire areas in games. It's just, they're my least favorite area, I don't know why. And back when I did Windhorn Ridge, I had said, you know, snow and ice areas are my favorite areas in games, and you know, that's been true for as long as I can remember, but fire areas just are really annoying. Add to that the fact that Gwendolyn is inherently like an ice elemental. She has ice magic, and some of her attacks can have ice elements attached to them. So she takes a lot of damage from fire, and these enemies and these bosses do a lot of fire damage, and it got really annoying, especially during this fight. And so that brings me to why this episode is post-commentary. It's because just that. Like, I was getting really agitated fighting this boss, and the commentary just wasn't that great, and I ended up just stopping the audio recording like 2/3 of the way through the episode, because I was just like, this sucks, and I'm not going to use this. I'll just do post-commentary. So I stopped and did the end of the episode, like the final boss fight, just silent, just focusing on playing the game. And that went a lot better, actually, because this mid-boss really was tough. And probably because it's tough anyway, and also probably has to do with trying to do live commentary while fighting the boss. For no one who's ever tried to like sit down and play a game and talk at the same time, it's actually pretty difficult to do. And especially to do well. So here I'm trying to fight this boss and just getting my ass kicked. Ugh. And this attack that she does, where she slams the ground and brings out this huge like lava pillar, and it throws fireballs like really far. They do a ton of damage too. It's just, it was really pissing me off. And she calls out these fire elementals also. It's just like anytime a boss calls out enemies to attack with it, it's just so annoying in this game. And her little fire cyclone too. I used like all my healing. Got totally fucked up. But as you can see, the resistance adding that resistance ability, the passive ability to Gwendolyn, sorry, is really helping her get over like the burn status effect. It goes away a lot faster. So spoiler alert, I have to take 2 attempts at this boss. The first one actually goes pretty well. I mean, I'm on her last phase here, the last life bar. But I've run out of healing items, so I just decided, whatever, I'll just go for it. And then that happened. Almost immediately got destroyed by her. There it was. Right here. Bam. So this is attempt number 2, and I think I make it on this one, but it's a long fight. Tough fight. But back to what I was saying, yeah, I don't like fire levels in games. And I don't mind, I like ice levels the best, and I don't mind water levels, which is, a lot of people say is strange, but like water levels in games don't bother me. I actually enjoy them. I loved the water levels in like the first Super Mario Brothers game. And lots of my friends who played that game with me, they hated playing those levels, and they would always pass the controller to me because I liked it. But I don't know why. There's just something about being underwater and swimming, and like, especially from the first Mario game, like the music that plays and everything, it's just kind of mysterious and it's different from the rest of the game. You know, you're not walking on a platform, you can float around, swim. It's just really neat. And I've always just been really attracted to them. Everyone hates the water temple in Ocarina of Time. I love it. The puzzles are, you know, really interesting. In the original game, the N64 version, you know, that one puzzle where you have to find that switch and they don't really show you where it is. That's kind of tough your first time through and you don't really know what you're doing, of course. And, you know, it took me weeks to figure it out when I was a kid playing through the game. But they fixed that on the DS remake, or the 3DS remake, yeah, that's what it was. The 3DS version, they fixed that because they actually show you a cutscene of where the switch is, which is really helpful. But even so, like, a lot of people hate the water temple. I really like it. I always liked water and ice levels. But some more recent games where fire levels piss me off. This game, the Volcanic Lava Pit, it's my least favorite area in the game. And also the Souls series. You know, Dark Souls 1, I hated Demon Ruins and Izalith. Those were my least favorite areas in that game. I hated the fire area in Dark Souls 2, which I forget what that one was called, but I didn't like it. And Dark Souls 3, Smoldering Lake, and Demon Ruins are my least favorite areas in that game as well. And even Demon Souls. I actually like the first in Stonefang Mine, which for those of you who've never played Demon Souls, that's the fire area in that game. I like the first area because it's not really a fire area, it's more a mine, as the title, or as the name of the area implies. And here I finally beat the boss. Oh, thank God. And I actually ended up only getting a B, which was pretty good. I thought I was going to get lower than that. But anyway, in Demon Souls, I like the first area of Stonefang Mine. But the second area with all the tunnels and mazes, and it's like there's lava and enemies that breathe fire. Just forget it. I just don't like fire areas in games. So the thing I got for beating that boss was a blue flame, which is going to help us. It actually is the key to unlocking the door to the boss in this area. And as I said, that mid-boss was actually harder for me than fighting the end boss of this area. And here I find a secret area, which is pretty useful. So inside this treasure chest was another Phozon Prism. And I think it unlocked Pain Feather, which is an ability that it like rains these feathers and it does freeze effect on enemies. Oh. Yeah, it scatters feathers while you're dodging, and it freezes enemies, which is pretty useful. I didn't equip it, but I thought about it, but I ended up not doing it. And here I was using the roll, the dodge move, because I never fucking do it while fighting. And I think I said in the commentary, like, I suck at this game. Because I've started now to block more. Because you absolutely have to do that in hard mode. But if I would dodge more often, I think that would be helpful too. But I don't do that much either. And sorry, I had to stop there because I was coughing. Ugh, my throat. I shouldn't even be recording this commentary now. I should probably wait a couple days for my throat to get better, but I just have time now, so I really want to. But maybe it's a good idea just to give my throat a rest. Anyway, these episodes are a little bit shorter, and as I said in the previous episodes, it's because of my throat, so I made these episodes in the volcano and lava pit kind of short. Also, it's probably for the best, because I got really irritated most of the time in this area. So and while we're doing this other stuff, because I think I do some maintenance and call out Mari and stuff like that before I go and fight the boss, I want to talk about another topic kind of related to what I was saying a few episodes ago. I was talking about The Last Guardian, and I was saying that, you know, that game probably isn't going to blow my mind. It's probably not going to be something really revolutionary. And it's a topic that I've been talking about with some friends and just been thinking about lately. And one of my friends brought up Half-Life 3 as an example, talking about just hype and long development times, and then again talking about revolution in games. And I was saying that, you know, Half-Life 3 probably can never come out. I mean, as much as everyone wants that game to come out, because Half-Life and Half-Life 2 were so awesome, I don't think Valve is going to end up making it. I mean, and I think one of the reasons, and this is what I said in the conversation with my friend, one of the reasons that the game isn't going to end up being made is because there's so much expectation for it. There's expectation that it is going to blow everyone away, like Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2 did. And I just don't think Valve even really knows what to do with it, because everyone's probably expecting this game to revolutionize first-person shooters the way the prequels did, or the way the first two games did. And I think that level of expectation is just unrealistic, first of all. I don't think, and this gets me to my main point about revolutionizing gaming. I don't think that games that people consider revolutionary, or hardware and devices that have been introduced into gaming that people have considered revolutionary, were made for the sole purpose of being revolutionary. They were made because they were thought of as a way to help the game. For example, Z targeting in The Legend of Zelda and in early 3D games, action games in particular. Z targeting was introduced because suddenly in action games you have this third dimension where you can see and interact with enemies, and it's really difficult to attack and interact with enemies without some way of focusing in on them in a 3D space. And KidRickarus Egoraptor talks about this in his episode on The Legend of Zelda for Sequelitis, which came out a few years ago. He talks about Z-targeting and the necessity of Z-targeting in that game, and he goes off on a whole different tangent. But my point is that Z-targeting is a revolutionary system that many games still use to this day. Almost all 3D action games that are in a third-person perspective use it nowadays. And they may call it different names, but essentially it's Z-targeting.
Thank you very much.
But, so it's this revolutionary thing, but it was introduced not to be revolutionary, it was introduced because the game needed it. It served a purpose in the game. So, and it worked out really well, and as I said, it's been really successful because almost every game nowadays, every 3D action title nowadays uses that system to target enemies. And that system was, like I said, it was born out of necessity. So there's so many things that, you know, people try to create these revolutionary gaming experiences, and more often than not they fail, because I think the problem is they focus on being revolutionary and they don't focus on, okay, is this thing that we're calling revolutionary, is this aspect of the game really helping the game? Is it serving a concrete purpose within the game? And I think that's the problem. And I think that's the reason Half-Life 3 isn't out. I mean, people may disagree with me on this, but that's one of the reasons I think that they haven't done Half-Life 3. And anyway, I'll continue with this at another time. We gotta watch a cutscene.
Queen of the Dead has reduced my sword's power. My body is like lead. To be defeated by a newborn dragon like this. This doesn't look good.
Oswald!
Huh? Why are you here? I can't make it. I can't go on.
Okay, so here we're going to fight the boss of this area. This is Leviathan, the last dragon, the dragon that Oswald was sent to fight. This little piece of shit. Anyway, he may be small, but he's pretty powerful. He's got some pretty powerful attacks. And in some parts of this fight, I got really lucky with my dodges, is what it comes down to. So anyway, back to what I was saying about revolutionary aspects of game design. You know, basically to sum it up, I think the ones that work and the ones that people consider, that stand the test of time and that people consider, yeah, these were really revolutionary things, I think they were born out of necessity for the game design. And so that's what brings me back again to The Last Guardian. I mean, I think a lot of people, it's been in development for a long time. I think a lot of people have really high expectations for it. I think some people have high expectations for it to be a really revolutionary experience. And part of me just thinks that that's not going to happen. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a Fumito Uedo game. And you know, for those who've played Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, you know what goes along with that. You know, I could spend a whole video talking about those aspects. But anyway, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing that the game is just going to be a fun game to explore and a fun world to live in and adventure in for a while. But I feel like a lot of people who are waiting for that game are just waiting for something that's going to blow their mind because it's been in development for so long. And I think that's just a bad attitude to have, is basically the point of everything that I was saying. So if anyone, you know, has any input or thoughts about this, you know, please, you know, leave a comment and maybe we can discuss it more. Maybe I'll clarify some points about what I'm saying in a future video. But I just also like to say that, of course, this is just my opinion, so, you know, you can have your own opinions on this stuff. And like I said, please, let's talk about it if you want to. Leave a comment, and we can discuss this more. But anyway, it's just something I've been thinking about because that game is finally coming out. And just thinking about Revolution in games and having conversations with friends. But anyway, kind of kicking the shit out of this dragon, which was surprising to me. But yeah, this guy's not that tough. He has some pretty powerful attacks, but he's also kind of slow, and he telegraphs his moves really well. And he doesn't have a lot of annoying attacks like the mid-boss in this stage, or that one mid-boss in this stage that we just fought in the beginning of this episode. So that helps. And here, yeah, I should have totally jumped over that or blocked it, but I just ate that charge attack that he did. But anyway, we're almost done with the volcano and lava pits, which I think is amazing, because I can't wait to get out of this fire level. But of course, there's 4 other characters in this game, and they all travel through similar areas. So inevitably, we'll have to come back here during this playthrough. But it's not that bad. And actually, other characters kind of handle the fire areas better because the attacks don't do as much damage because they're not ice elementals like Gwendolyn is. I got dizzied here. But we're on the last phase of the fight. The boss is almost dead. It's poisoned, which is helpful. So I just wailed on him this last half of his life bar. Try to get as much damage on him as I could. And there we go. Took him out. So let's watch this last cutscene.
His injuries are grave. They must be attended to immediately.
See what his pride has cost him? Leave him be. You have been banished for disgracing your country, but you are still astonishing. To be able to defeat the dragon from the prophecies, you intrigue me even more.
Oswald has fought for you, and the dragon has been defeated. We are returning to the castle.
Why? Why him? That man has been selected by the Queen of the Dead. He will eventually die as her servant. His very existence is torment. Leave that doomed soul and take my hand.
Your Majesty, if you persist in insulting my husband, my spear will take your hand. If you do not want your life extinguished, get out of my sight!
How intense. Just like a flame. I shall pay my respects to such intensity and back down from now. The promise has been kept. Let us leave it at that. But remember, you are the one that stokes the embers of my heart.
That guy's such a loser. Anyway, we got a Phozon Prism, so that's great. And this one, I think it's Blizzard, which is a magic attack. Oh no, it's Freeze Lance. But anyway, the next episode is also going to be post-commentary. Sorry about that. But, what can you do? I'll talk about that more next time. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.